Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. So 2024 has apparently been the year of the joust for us here because we played more tabletop jousting games in the last 2 months than we have in the last 20 years. So a couple of months ago, as you may remember, we posted a video where Lynn and I tried the jousting minigame featured in the very influential chainmail rules for medieval miniatures written by Jeff Perrin and Gary Gygax way back in the 1970s. And then as a result of that video, we were invited by the Colorado Military Historians Wargaming Group to play in their tabletop jousting tournament held at the January 27 Friday Night Fight Gathering, which I think was at Hobbytown, USA in Westminster, if I remember. Anyway, for this game, they were using the Broken Lances jousting rules. So the upshot of that is that we participated in 2 jousting tournaments using 2 different rule sets just in the month of January. So back on Valentine's Day, Games Workshop released a free set of updated rules for their own full tilt jousting game, which was originally published in White Dwarf 215 back in November of 1997, which would have been during the reign of Warhammer Fantasy 5th edition, I believe, and I guess the Bretonnians weren't even included in 4th edition, so 5th edition marks something of a comeback for them. So the original full tilt, created by Nigel Stillman, was a rather extensive tournament game for Bretonnian knights. There were rules for knightly virtues and the ladies' favor, which would give competitors an edge on the field. There were also jousting ploys, some honorable and some less so, tournament prizes, and even a fearsome black knight that contenders could challenge if they dared. The updated 2024 version of Full Tilt for use with Warhammer The Old World appears to be massively streamlined versus the 1997 version. So not counting the front and back covers, the actual 2024 rules are only 4 pages long, and there have been some changes. So knightly virtues, the ladies' favor, jousting ploys, what have you, are all a little bit different. And I don't see any mention of the Black Knight, but perhaps he'll make an appearance in a future expansion. So anyway, here's just a quick rundown of how I think it works. So a simple joust between 2 knights involves 3 passes, assuming no one gets unhorsed or loses both of their wounds. A grand tourney, however, might involve several players, each with their own team of knights. For this quick demo, I'm going to assume there's just 1 knight on each side, and they're out having an unsanctioned duel near the ruins to settle some sort of score. So this game uses cards in addition to dice. So what I'm going to do is choose 1 card off the top, randomly. And this will determine the knightly virtue for each knight. So Sir Percival the Chaste right here, his knightly virtue is a 2, which is discipline, which means he practices frequently in the tilt yard and does not have to roll to see if he's unhorsed if he suffers a wound. Lord Wilken the Wanderer over here has a knightly virtue of 5. That means he completely disregards the first wound that he suffers, bravely shrugging it off with a show of great indifference. After that, each player gets a hand of 5 cards, ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, which they will use to secretly choose one of the 5 jousting ploys that they're going to use during the pass. So normally players would pick, but I'm just going to choose at random. So Lord Wilken the Wanderer is choosing jousting ploy number 3, and Sir Percival the Chaste is choosing jousting ploy number 5. So jousting ploy number 3 is aim for the crest. You hit on a roll of 5+. If you score a hit, roll a d6 instead of rolling to wound, and a roll of 4+, your opponent's crest has been knocked off, and you count as having broken 2 lances. And Sir Percival the Chaste is dodging. This is a defensive ploy greatly lacking in honor. You give up your own chance to strike in order to dodge the opponent's lance, which means you do not strike at all, but your opponent hits on a roll of 6+. So Lord Wilken the Wanderer will hit on a 6+. He does not, and Sir Percival does not strike at all, but he has been dishonored because he chose the cowardly dodge maneuver. All right, let's try that again. So Lord Wilken chooses a 3, and Sir Percival the Chaste chooses a 4. So Lord Wilken is going to need a 5+ again, and if he's successful, he is going to knock the crest off of Sir Percival. And Sir Percival is doing a swipe. It's acceptable, but not considered to be very honorable. You swipe your lance across the opponent's front to knock them from the saddle. It is not very difficult, but rather slow and not very skillful. A swipe hits on a roll of 3+. So Lord Wilken needs a 5, which he doesn't get, and Sir Percival needs a 3, which he does get, and he needs a 4+ to wound, which he gets. So Lord Wilken would normally suffer a wound from that exchange, but because of his knightly virtue, noble disdain, he gets to ignore that first wound. So that's 2 passes, so now the combatants will initiate their 3rd and final exchange. Let's see what happens. So for this exchange, Lord Wilken chooses the 3, and Sir Percival chooses an ace. So the ace is aim for the shield, so Sir Percival aims at Lord Wilkin's shield and puts maximum force behind the strike. And 3 is aim for the crest once again. So Lord Wilkin needs a 5, which he gets. And Sir Percival doesn't hit at all. So Lord Wilkin got his 5+ to hit the crest of Sir Percival. Now he normally would roll to wound, but when you're aiming at the crest, you roll to see if you knock the crest off. Which he does. So he knocks the crest off of Sir Percival the Chaste and wins the joust. Okay, that's roughly how it works as far as I can tell, but you can check it out yourself by getting a free PDF from the Warhammer community website. So grab a copy if you're so inclined. All right, my friends, that's it for today. I hope your week is going well. Stay frosty. We'll see you real soon.